Hi, I'm Lazze and I'm teaching people in metal shaping, and I'm back here with some tips and tricks again. And this is a little updated tuning of the shrink and the stretcher, the small twin ones that we're using. And I know it's a lots of people out there that have them, and some people they are a little maybe disappointed that they don't work. But with the fine tuning you can get most of them to work. It's some of the knockoffs that is out there that is so poor quality, so they don't work at all. It doesn't matter what you do to them, you can't get them to work. But this is a very good brand. This is the Lancaster brand. And but even when I get those, it's still not working the way I want it to be. They might move the metal a little bit, but I know what I'm expecting from the tool, and I want it to work as best as possible. So this is the small shrink and the stretcher, and we can start look at the shrinker. When you look at the jaws here, you can see that the bottom part there, they are in level, but the top piece here is not in level. You see that this is in a little angle on both of them, and when this one goes down, it doesn't do the job. It doesn't work right. You see it's parallel when I push it all the way down, but already here, when it's not all the way down, when it's halfway down, it's still in an angle. So that makes it very difficult to have them to do the job that we want to do. So I'm going to take this apart so I can show you what's wrong with them. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And what's important is also that you have those in level that goes down. The bottom looks like it's pretty close in level, but the top one is not in level. And what I figured out, what causes this angle on the jaws, you see when I hold this together like that, you see that we have an angle. This is not flat. And what I figured out is that if you look at this wire here, first of all, if I hold it like that, you can see that this one is taller than this one. Can you see that? And the other thing is that you can also see that this is bent more than 90 degrees. So when you take this jaw and put it in like this, you see that the jaws is in an angle. And it doesn't do the job. Those should come down parallel to the sheet. So what I figured out, first of all, I need to re-bend this, and I can just bend it up a little bit more so it's to 90 degrees. This one, I also need to bend back like that so it's 90 degrees. But the problem is here is that the height of this. So one jaws is further down and the other one is further up. So when I see something like that, I look at the bottom part here, and the bottom part looks pretty much symmetrical. So it's actually this leg here on this side that is taller up. If this was less, then I could re-bend this one a little bit and move this up a little. But this is so much. This is almost I will say, almost 1/8 of an inch. At least 1/16 of an inch or a little more than that. So I take this to a vise and clamp it to the vise and take a hammer, and then I'm moving this bend down a little bit, and then I grind a little off so this one is not too long. So make sure that this is the same height of those two legs here on this one. So those two adjustments, if you do that on yours, it works so much better. The other thing that I also realize over the years is that you see that it's about 1/16 of travel here. So when I push these two together, it shrinks 1/16 of an inch. But if I want to make this a little more effective, I would grind a little off on this side that goes out to the sides. So this one sits like this. And if I grinding a little off on both sides of the jaws like that, so this side and this side, it will open up more when I start. So that means that I have a little more gap before I start shrinking. And when I shrink it, it have more to travel, and it will shrink more. So I can take 1/32 of an inch off on each side, then I have more to travel. So those small adjustments I do on the shrinker, and I grind this off on the belt grinder. That I figured that out. That is the best. You can probably grind it off with a type of a grinding disc. If you don't have a belt grinder, you can probably take one of those and grind off that surface there to lower that one down. So those adjustments is what I do for the shrinker. So I think that was a little more than the other video we have about the fine tuning. It also helps to have a little grease or little oil on this part there, because the upper's going to touch there, so it helps if this slides little when you move this, so you have a little grease there. Other than that, it works pretty good. So I think that's what we have. And then it's important that those are offset, so they are not like this. Because if you have it like that, they only shrinking 1/16 of an inch. But if you have it like this, it shrinks 1/16 on one and 1/16 on the bottom, so it works double. So it works much better that way. And the reason why I can give you all this information is because I have taught people for over 17 years, hands-on classes, and sometimes the stuff doesn't work in the class and I need to fix it. And I also sold lots of those, and I learned how to fine-tune them so they work better, so I can send out a good product to people. I'm going to take a little look at the stretcher too. The stretcher we don't have the same problem with, because they are built a little different inside. But what I figured out on the stretcher is that, you see, when I pushed it all the way down, it's less than a 16 of an inch gap. And that is a little too little for me. I want the metal to move a little faster. So what I did the same thing on the stretcher jaws on the outside, I would say on the edge, on the jaws. So I grind a little off on those too, on the stretcher, so they open up a little more. They travel a little further when I push this down. And that helps. It's totally different machines. The other thing is that I recommend that you're using a really sticky grease, or using the STP oil treatment for motors. And it's really, really sticky, and that stays the longest time on the jaws when you use them. So I hope that trick will help you with your shrink and stretch at home there, so that you can work better, do better job, and have more fun. If you want more information about the classes, equipment, or DVDs or books, go to www.lazzemetalshaping.com. Thank you.